Hi, it's Dr. Lori here today to talk to you a little bit more about the lectures that I've been giving and will continue to give on June 1st here at our office at 11 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. And then again at Fresh from the Farm Juices on Thursday the 4th at 6:30 p.m. The lectures are in regards to healing hypothyroid disease and Hashimoto's disease using nutrition and lifestyle as medicine. The lectures really got rave reviews when I did those a few weeks ago. People were telling me that they just did not know the information that was provided. The doctors just weren't telling them everything, or they didn't know where to find the info. And so today I want to give a little bit more insight into those lectures and then talk about an 8-week program that I'm going to host that will help you all to understand this disease a little bit more and how to treat it so that you can start to feel better, to lose weight, to feel like you have more energy, and so on. And so, I have a really grand PowerPoint. As I'm going through this, I may look off to the page just to get a little bit more insight so that I can share some things with you. But if you can make either of those lectures, I think you'll be surprised by the information that I'm receiving. That I'm actually giving you, and that of what you are receiving, because there is so much to this gland. This thyroid, when it's healthy, takes care of energy production, respiration. It provides energy to the heart, which needs to go 24 hours a day, along with the brain. It takes care of metabolism. It keeps you warm. It keeps your digestive system running. I mean, there's just so much. I have a great couple charts that I share with you that really show the whole insight of the thyroid along with the endocrine system that really keeps us ticking. We then will go into hypothyroid disease and what that is, and that is when the thyroid itself just is not producing as it should. And so the hormones that we need, namely T4 and T3, are just not being produced. There's just not enough in your bloodstream. And so a lot of people are diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and they are put on a drug called Synthroid, which is synthetic T4. And that is great, but the issue is that we need that T4 to be changed to T3, and that actually happens in your liver. And so the liver converts T4 to T3, whether that's natural or Synthroid. However, that's not happening because a lot of people have some clogged up livers for multiple reasons. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, if we're drinking alcohol or not, just multiple things, pesticides, herbicides, things we use on our body. The liver is the filter, and if the filter is clogged, it can't do its job for many reasons. And also the one big thing in regards to this lecture is that then the liver is not converting T4 to T3. T3 is the active form of thyroid hormone. It's what we need to feel energized and feel like we actually have some gumption and get up and go. So I talk a little bit more about hypothyroidism and the signs and symptoms around all that. And then Hashimoto's disease. And Hashimoto's is actually an autoimmune disease. And so something in the body is attacking the thyroid. And that happens to be what I was diagnosed with a few years back, and just continue to learn more and more about hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and have come along to learn about a program called the Hypothyroid Revolution, in which I'm using a lot of foods I hadn't eaten for years, to help me to heal, along with a compounded T3 prescription to keep my thyroid hormones in check. And so we'll talk about Hashimoto's. We'll talk about, why, the possibilities of why it is attacking the thyroid. Our DNA has something to do with that. If someone in your family has some type of autoimmune disorder, and that could be anything from diabetes to MS to rheumatoid arthritis, on and on and on, then you're more susceptible for something to trigger the Hashimoto's. And that can be triggered by environment, again, foods, different things that come into our system. Gluten sensitivities and intolerance will affect us and affect the thyroid and affect us on the Hashimoto side, so that the thyroid's being attacked. Stress is a biggie. And I was teasing in the lectures, and I kept saying, I can't stress enough. We need to find ways to reduce stress. That's all there is to it. So we talk a lot more about those disease processes and what they're doing to us, signs and symptoms from multiple different things, general signs and symptoms, what they do to our sleep cycles, what they do to our brain, mentation, to our energy, to the female and male systems, multiple systems, digestive, which I've already talked about. So many people are feeling constipated or just not right, and so we go over all of that. And then I talk about food and supplementation and how there are a couple different foods that I was eating consistently because everyone says they're good for us, and honestly, I really like them. Namely, cruciferous vegetables, that's your broccolis, your cauliflower, your kale, cabbage, all those things, especially in raw form, will actually shut off your thyroid. They actually are thyroid suppressors, and so we need to remove those from our diet, as well as polyunsaturated fats, which include nuts, and nuts have been my go-to for a long time for a snack. So I had to remove myself, remove nuts from myself, I should say, and that's a bummer, quite honestly, but I'd rather feel better, and so I was okay with that. And we talk a lot more about polyunsaturated fats, all the oils that we're using that we think are good for us, and they're not. They're thyroid suppressors. The good ones are olive oils and coconut oil, and we use a lot of that in this diet. Dairy is actually good. I've been drinking milk and eating yogurt and ice cream and some different things that I kind of got out of my diet because saturated fat is supposed to be bad for us. But we're learning more and more. If we go back to the natural, saturated fat was natural before the 1950s. Then some different studies came along and kind of tweaked our look at that. And we've been eating these polyunsaturated fats, and we're finding they're deleterious to our health in multiple ways. The other thing is, when thyroid is bad, when the thyroid just isn't doing what it needs to do, it leads to multiple diseases, including cardiovascular disease. There is a relationship between cholesterol and thyroid disease in which the cholesterol levels can rise. However, we need to really look at that because we're being told that over 200 in the cholesterol might be bad, but that's not quite the truth. Somewhere between 220 and 240, we're actually healthy. And so this is the information that we need. We need to look at all this very differently. Hey, you still may need a Synthroid or a compounded T4 or something else. However, in this regard, we want to balance it out with food and with some supplements and many. Selenium, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, DHEA. I mean, there's multiple things. It just depends on what your body needs. Calcium, but we're also looking at natural forms, all of which that I touch upon in the lecture. And then when we go to the 8-week series, we're going to get really, really in depth about all this. When we look at lifestyle, we come back to stress. We have got to reduce stress in our lives to be healthy. I am at a point where I truly believe the number one cause of death and disease is stress. But we're not treating stress, we're treating the disease, we're treating the symptoms. So we need to reduce stress. We need to pick up some different exercises like yoga and Tai Chi, and even just some quick boosting exercises that will help the thyroid, because when we go overboard with exercise, we actually shut down the thyroid again. These are suppressors we need to know about. And so I just wanted to give a little bit more right here on the video about what these lectures will be like. Then we will talk about the 8-week program in which you will have a book, and I will take you through a 1-hour class for 8 weeks. We will be videoing those classes in case you miss a class, and we will go in depth about thyroid disease. We'll go in depth about what you should and shouldn't be eating, lifestyle changes, medications, supplements, all those different things that truly can help you feel better. I've been doing this new diet, if you will, but really it's an age-old way of eating for a couple months now, and I am losing weight. I have more energy, more stamina, generally feel better, just different changes, and I really need to share this with more and more people because we need to be able to diagnose thyroid disease, and then we also need to be able to heal it, which we have the possibility to do naturally and sometimes in combination with medication. So please come and join us either on Monday, June 1st at 11 a.m. or 5:30 p.m. at Balance for Wellness at 601 Pittsburgh Road, Route 8, 16002, or at Fresh from the Farm Juices in Wexford at 6:30 p.m. You can look on our website for the flyer at balanceforwellness.com. It will give you that information. There is a $25 charge. Believe me, you will think it's well worth it. And if you join the 8-week class, that $25 will go towards the admission to that class. Any questions, please give us a call at 724-481-1141 or email me at drlori, DRLORRI, @zoominternet.net. Take care, and let's get healthy together.